Having a streamlined procurement process and a clear procurement strategy is essential to ensure your organization is able to meet its business goals, ranging from profitability to sustainability and more. This is Smart Consulting Sourcing, the only podcast about consulting procurement or how to buy consulting services. You'll get tips on how to use consulting, buy consulting, and managing the consulting. Tips and tricks from the pros. Let's do this. This is Smart Consulting Sourcing. And now your host, Ellen Lafitte.
Hello and welcome back to Smart Consulting Sourcing. I am Ellen and today we'll be talking about value. But before we get there, let me come back on last week's episode. I'll share my thoughts on reverse auctions and how they apply to consulting sourcing. Reverse auctions have become a hot topic in procurement. You'll find reverse auctions anytime you need to buy something very specific and very quickly. It is used in hospitality, for instance. Moreover, reverse auctions work particularly well for commodities where the requirements are not negotiable. But if you listen to my previous podcast on how to negotiate a consulting agreement, you know that with consulting services, everything is open for negotiations. Scope, timeline, budget, staffing. And that makes reverse auction almost counterproductive. However, this week, I wanted to talk about the value created by consultants. It is a tough time to be in charge. The pressure on OPEX is always increasing and executives need to always deliver more with less. And now value creation is the new black, right? But what is the value for a consulting project? Are procurement and business leaders talking the same language? Are we talking about savings, cost avoidance, or is it the impact of the project on the business? So if you want to understand the value consultants create for their clients, you're in the right place. Sounds interesting? Let's get straight to it. So the first question, why work with a consultant in the first place? There are many projects where working with consultants can help companies create value better and faster. As an outside vendor, a consultant often sees issues that stakeholders or those two involved in your organization can't. So what are these occasions exactly? You are weighing strategic options. Our economic conditions and business environment are set on a fast-changing pace today. Many organizations often struggle with the lack of technical expertise in this new industry. You already know that when revenues stagnate or when a more powerful competitor threatens your market share and affects your sales and profitability, the most viable solution is to power up growth and expand. Consulting firms that specialize in this area will be your best bet. One of the strategic approaches for an organization can be to merge with or acquire a competitor. Consultants who boast a wealth of experience in that capacity can ease the process and provide invaluable advice. You may need to increase your competitiveness. Project quality is a central concern for companies. Consultants can help you break down your process in specific stages and identify potential product improvements. The cost reduction is a major area of concern for all organizations today. Clients are often working with consulting firms to reduce costs and boost revenue and profitability by applying lean management, lean thinking, and lean processes. Some non-strategic areas of operation that do not deliver expected results and are problematic are better outsourced to other vendors. And consultants can help you identify what to outsource, how, and to who. What about human capital? Do you want to redevelop your organization and retain your talent? Top performers and most skilled employees are commonly driven to achieve new goals. They are also the ones who are more likely to leave to a more attractive position offered by other companies, be it for more responsibilities or better compensation. It's not an easy task to understand, motivate, and inspire your top employees to stay with the company if they see opportunities elsewhere. In the same way that a surgeon would have difficulties operating on himself, most companies tend to rely on external consultants to help them design and implement a new organization. Finally, you can work with consultants because you need specific expertise or resources that you don't have in-house. Often, hiring a consultant is the most feasible option for a specific job. When there is extra work for a short period to be done and your organization lacks the proper resources, the consulting firm can bring in much needed support. Second, benefits of working with consultants. Obviously, there's a various number of benefits of working with them. They have their technical expertise. The fact that they're independent and can be used as temporary workforce with their own expert problem-solving approach. They can also be a way to coach your internal workforce. And sometimes the need goes beyond the company's interest. Some executives rely on consultants to increase their influence and manage their career. Now, coming to point for today's podcast, what value do consultants bring to clients? The diversity of the consulting providers in terms of size and offers is quite complex, and this makes buying consulting services so tricky. However, we can identify and agree there are two dimensions of value created. First dimension, technical value. This is brought through an in-depth expertise. Most operational projects fall in this category, whether the consultant provides outside knowledge, help diagnose a problem and its solution, or assist in the implementation of the said solution. The second dimension would be political value. Political value is more difficult to appreciate, but anyone that has been around for a while knows the importance of company politics. In troubled times, executives can look for support to legitimate a decision, to enforce unpopular changes, or be the scapegoat. It can also take the shape of facilitating the convergence between the stakeholders or acting as a sounding board. All projects should bring value to your company, but how do you measure this value? When a service is intangible like consulting, you cannot physically measure the results. There is, to date, no standard in measuring the value created through consulting. It sounds particularly ironic when we know that consulting stemmed from the need precisely to measure performance. Now, how do you measure the value? The direct value often comes with visible results, such as saving, top-line improvements, etc. The technical value often falls in this category with tangible results, such as cost savings, increasing the revenues, and improving cash and work capital. The long-term value is the impact on the valuation of the company, for instance. It is more difficult to evaluate and is often linked to the political value of a project. How do you appreciate the impact of a culture or a diversity project or process and system organization? Other fields have succeeded in measuring the intangible, such as client satisfaction or employee performance. Finally, cost avoidance. It is more complicated in evaluation. However, it's possible to calculate the avoidance of cost due to an improvement in reliability, a better focus, or a capacity increase, such as assets or workflow expansion. Which brings us to another important aspect of value created, the value perception. If the clients are satisfied overall working with a particular consultancy, why would they take the business elsewhere, right? In conclusion, consultants can create significant value for clients' organization. Too many companies are thinking about consulting as additional resources or through the lens of the project they are working on. Very few executives have indeed a clear view of the value they provide. As an outside vendor, a consultant often can see issues the stakeholders and those two involved in your organization cannot provide. The value created can be technical, providing expertise and solution to various issues, cost savings, increased value, and much more, as well as political value, helping clients make transitions, implement new policies, and successfully adapt to a new environment. And the project performance can be evaluated through direct client feedback and satisfaction. And that marks the end of our podcast, folks. Next week, I'll talk about how the top 5 spending industry are leveraging consulting. So stay tuned. Till then, stay safe and happy sourcing. And if you have other questions about the value consulting can bring, remember you can contact me directly on LinkedIn or by email because I'm always game for a chat. Bye and see you next week. Au revoir.
You've been listening to Smart Consulting Sourcing, the only podcast about consulting procurement and how to buy consulting services. Pro tips on how to use consulting, buy consulting, and manage it. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we hope you've gotten some useful and practical information. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, hit the website at consultingquest.com. Check out the blog at consulting.wiki and find the ebook Smart Consulting Sourcing, a step-by-step guide to getting the best ROI from your consulting. Available on Amazon and other online sellers. Find us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. For questions and comments, send an email to ellen.lafitte@consultingquest.com. See you next time.